Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Cooking with Dan. Today is Thursday, October the 15th, I'm sorry. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I again am on vacation for the third time this year, taking my last 40 hours this week. And today I am going to cook Filet Mignon. Yum! So let's go get started since we have limited time. Let's go into the kitchen. I have not begun cooking this yet. Pick up the glasses on my way. Okay, I'm currently doing dishes, so pardon the mess here. I haven't been home very much the last few days and haven't been falling a little bit behind in my yard work, well, that too, but my housework. So I've got some stuff laid out here. We got our 2 cast iron skillets here. I prefer cast iron for this type of cooking. Olive oil and Lowry seasoning salt. I got my cutting board. So the menu today is going to be filet mignon with baby red potatoes. We covered red potatoes about a month ago when I did my favorite chicken dinner. So when you choose your red potatoes, you want to get a really bright red potato. That means that it's really fresh and really good. You want it to be as bright red as possible, almost as red as a fire truck. When they start getting kind of dull and start turning kind of pink, then they're not very good anymore. So we're going to fry up some red potatoes here in the cast iron, just like we did with the chicken. Like I said, we're going to use just a little bit of olive oil to do that, and put some Lowry seasoning salt. I know this stuff isn't very good for you, but I love it. Alright, I should have got this out before. We're going to do some cottage cheese. And then my steaks. Oh. Okay, filet mignon is beef tenderloin. And it's very expensive. These are about $15.99 a pound. And I've got roughly 2 8-ounce cuts here. They're between 7 and 8 ounces each. So I got $15 worth of steak here. Now I really like this kind of stuff, but I don't cook it very often. Not because it's so expensive, that's one of the reasons. I'm just not a big fan of red meat anymore like I used to be. So when choosing a beef tenderloin filet mignon, I like a nice big thick cut, as you can see. That is very thick because I like mine blood rare. And that's the seasoning that you see on there. The filet mignon or beef tenderloin, as it actually is a really long tube when you get it, and then you've got to cut it into these pieces. But there's a trick to cutting it. I'm not a butcher. I really don't know how to do that, but I have dealt with it at work. Sometimes when we buy a big tenderloin for something, I oftentimes am the one that gets to cut it. So these are ready to go. These are ready to cook, so we're going to put our potatoes in first, and we're going to cook those, get those going, and then we're going to have just a little bit of olive oil in there, because remember, olive oil burns very easy, and to cook these steaks, I'm going to sear them, and I'm going to be cooking them about 425 to 450, and I'm not going to cook it very long. I'm only going to cook one tonight, of course. But I'm going to sear them, and that olive oil will burn at that temperature. And that's one of the unfortunate things, is when you get it that hot, it is going to burn. But you really want to sear it. I prefer olive oil over anything else. Alright, let's wash this stuff off my hand. Try not to drop the camera in the water. That would be very bad. Okay, so that's the plan. I am going to begin cooking the potatoes as soon as I'm done with this video, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to come back when everything's done, and then I'll come back in here and I will do a plating up like I did with the chicken. Okay, let's go back into the living room. There's one more thing I wanted to cover before I run out of time, and that is, you may have noticed that I appear to not have a beard anymore. Well, I do. It's just whiskers now because I had a little accident this morning. I got up this morning and wasn't quite awake, I guess, and I was kind of rushing around. I needed to go pick up my friend JR over at his house, and then we went up to the morning service this morning, and I needed to trim my beard because it was a little long, and you know, it just needed to be trimmed, and so I got the the beard trimmer out, and I stupidly didn't realize that it was that I didn't have it set right. I needed to have it set on the number 2 blade, but I had it not set on the number 1 blade, and I started, and it took me a little while to realize that I had it set wrong, and by that time I had cut my beard too small, so now it looks like I don't have a beard, but I do. It's coming. It'll grow back. It's I felt pretty stupid this morning going to church looking like this, but oh well. So we will be back. I will be back in a little while, and we'll plate up our steak, and that'll be that.